Puntahan naman natin itong problema sa yung binabanggit mo, no? Yung 87% are not independent learners. Doon sa hindi
Yes.
familiar sa term, no? Pag sinabing hindi independent learners, or sorry, leader, ano ba? Readers, no?
Reader.
Readers.
Readers. Oo.
Readers. Ano ibig sabihin ng hindi independent reader?
So, ibig sabihin, bibigyan ka ng isang ah, paragraph na babasahin. Hirap kang makma-digest kung anong ibig sabihin nun. Anong mensahe. Mahihirapan ka na doon. So, yun yung challenge natin. Kasi at high school level, ang expectation natin, ready sila for college, ready sila for TechVoc, ready silang magtrabaho. Pero ang nakikita natin, yung mga longer texts na kailangan basahin na ng mga grade 11 students natin, 87% of them are struggling to understand it, to comprehend, and to draw out the lessons from those things. So, and yung challenge na yan, hindi lang siya limited or isolated pagdating sa grade 11. According to our data, nung nag-start ang school year, 80% of students on average from grades 1 to grade 10 struggling to read. After one school year, yung 80%, because pinagsikapan ng DepEd ang aral program, 10% na lang yung struggling readers. Yung struggling readers na natira na 10%, yun yung talagang medyo malalim ang need ha. Hindi makapag-decode or makaunawa ng salita, hindi na-recognize lahat ng mga salita, hindi makaunawa at makabuo ng pangungusap. So, medyo malalim yung challenge na yan. Nakita natin that after DepEd's effort, yung 10% na yan, kukunti na lang talaga ang natira. Pero 40% of the remaining are still not independent or grade level ready. Ibig sabihin, grade 7 ka, pero sa totoo, ang alam mo, grade 3. Nasa grade 8 ka, pero ang alam mo, grade 4 level. So, kalahati ng ating mga estudyante, 1 in 2 Filipino students across all grade levels are not reading for their grade level.
Pag
So,
sinabi pa lang independent reading, ang pinag-uusapan natin na medium dito, is this Filipino or English or local
we're
languages?
we're using English kasi yung expectation natin ngayon, ang medium of instruction at ang mga materials, ang texts, are in English. No? Pagdating sa babasahin nila sa college, English din yan. So we're using English as a measure. Nakikita natin na doon talaga may struggle yung mga estudyante natin. So ang question nga namin sa mga teachers at sa DepEd, kunyari nasa grade 8, kasi nag-visit kami ng mga schools, no? Grade 8 students, ang inaaral nila syllabication, pagpapantig. Parang ilan ba ang pantig sa salitang crisis? Ganun ang level ng inaaral ng grade 8 ng mga estudyante who are still struggling. Pero ang lessons nila sa curriculum, Edgar Allan Poe, Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, uh, ang layo-layo. So ang sinasabi nga namin, paano mo ihahabol yung isang bata? Lahat ng bata natin, kung 1 in 2 nakaupo sa class, pero hindi maintindihan yung mga inaaral kasi ang layo ng understanding or comprehension nila when it comes to literacy, what are they absorbing? So it is likely that many of them are going to school but could not comprehend what they are studying. Tapos, nag-accumulate yan. Kasi pag umaakyat ka ng each grade level at hindi mo yan nahahabol, lumalalim yung deficit mo na hindi mo natututunan. Pero tumataas yung grade level mo.
Pag sa ganyang obviously meron napakalawak na gap, no? Anong solusyon diyan? I suppose yan, 'di ba? From both ends, you have to address it. Pero ano yung
Mm-mm.
priority ron? Do you adjust the curriculum or you make sure that the kids will be able to catch up?
Oo. So, ang sa amin, based on our studies and consultations, kailangan mong i-adjust yung curriculum, kailangan mong i-group yung learners by reading ability, tapos dapat differentiated yung intervention mo, tapos pag nakaabot na siya ng kunyari nakaabot ka na from word level, nakamove ka to sentence level, dapat ilipat ka to paragraph level. So dapat yung interventions mo may grouping, tapos pwede silang lumipat ng group as they continuously progress. Yun yung medyo kailangan pa nating ayusin kasi yung aral program, kaya niya na i-rescue yung mga bata na pinakahirap magbasa, pero pag nandoon ka na sa level 2, hindi ka niya pa kayang dalhin to level 3, which is grade level readiness na gusto natin. So yun yung panawagan natin sa DepEd na how do we then improve our aral program implementation na umakyat talaga yung mga bata. Tsaka ang sinasabi nga namin in our consultations and in the discussions with Congressman Romulo and Senbam, parang we need to look at more radical solutions na. Kasi yung aral program as implemented ngayon, 1 hour after each lesson day, pagod na yung bata, pagod na rin yung teachers, kulang pa ng materials, tapos yung buong lesson naman throughout the school day, hindi mo naiintindihan kasi nga napakalayo naman sa level of understanding ng bata. Why don't we be more radical? Parang use more of the time during the school day na i-adjust talaga muna, ihabol muna yung mga bata sa literacy bago natin pasukin yung mga very complex topics in reading, in physics, in all of the other subjects. So, yun yung kailangan pag-aralan at buuin.
Pero nga, in the first place, bakit umabot sa ganito? So, nagpo-progress pero hindi naman talaga na-i-ingest yung lessons because may
Oo.
reading problem.
Oo, we have to commend Sec Angara's team kasi for the first time, nag-address tayo ng assessment problems and nag-literacy test tayo. Beforehand, wala. So, ngayon lang, last school year, yung taon na lahat ng grade levels, lahat ng bata, pinag-test natin sa literacy. But ang sasabihin ko lang din, public schools pa lang yan, hindi pa natin sinusuportahan at pinapag-assess ang literacy sa mga private schools. So we don't even have a sense of the gravity of the literacy challenge, if at all, in private schools. Dati, hindi tayo nag-a-assess. Tapos may mass promotion pa tayo na yung bata naman, absent man, hindi naman makasagot, pasado pa rin, umaakyat ng grade level. Kasi nga dati nakatali yung performance-based bonus at rating ng principal at ng school sa bilang ng mga batang umaakyat ng grade level. So 100% ng 100% yan. Talagang pumapasa yung mga bata kahit hindi natututo.
Grabe, no? Actually, I don't know whether this is a proper term, pero nakikita rin natin yan, parang nagkakaroon tuloy ng inadvertent focus sa credentialism, no? Parang kailangan ma-credential ka to be able to say that you've made it. Ibig sabihin, umabot ka sa next level, pero hindi naman talaga yun ang no? Naging batayan, eh.
And I think let's talk about that, no? Kasi we need to also confront that as a society, no? Have we reached a point that we are happy with just gaining credentials but without really gaining the learning that comes with it? Kasi minsan may mga bata kaming kausap, ang sabi naman daw sa kanila ng mga magulang nila, nung iba to hindi naman natin nila lahat, okay lang yan basta may diploma, basta makagraduate. Tapos yung mga teachers na kausap din natin na parang, ma'am, nabalitaan natin, ang dami kasing comments on diploma mills, na ang daming universities na papasok ka lang para master's at PhD, 6 months, tapos ka na. Pag-enroll mo, gawa na yung thesis, nagpapabayad na lang ng 300,000, sa'yo na yung thesis, susulatin mo na lang pangalan mo, or mga defense panel daw na hihingi ng mga Lacoste t-shirts, tapos ipapasa ka na. Maraming fly-by-night, pero ang sagot ng ibang teacher, sir, ano naman kahit naman saan ako mag-aral, kung UP man yan, Lasal, Ateneo, or isang diploma mill, mapopromote pa rin naman ako Kasi ang hinahanap lang naman ng DepEd at ng civil service, basta may masters, hindi naman tatanungin kung saan galing. So, baka umabot ba tayo na dahil sa kahalagahan sa atin ng diploma, ng certificate, minsan hindi na ganoon kahalaga para sa karamihan yung talagang matututunan mo at kaya mong gawin. So, I think this is something we need to confront and also question amongst ourselves.
Good thing that you mentioned that, no, Mark. At saka isa pa, yung parang naging, I don't think this is a good culture, yung lahat may award. And then, binabandera sa social media na sinasabi, daming award ng anak ko. Parang nagpo-focus sa credentialism without us realizing that actually that puts undue pressure on the child, on the student.
Totoo yan, totoo yan. And one of the things also, di ba, you may have heard in the news about the grade inflation that DepEd has been using.
Yeah.
So 60 ka, magiging 75 ka. So dapat bagsak ka talaga, pero pasado ka na. Hindi ka na magre-remediation kasi pasado ka na because of the transmutation table. According to college faculty members that we have talked to, yung mga bata, may epekto rin to sa kanila kasi akala nila mataas yung grade nila. Kasi lumaki sila mula kinder hanggang grade 12 na mataas ang grades nila sa basic education. Pagdating nila sa college, pag walang transmutation yung university, nadidepress daw, nagagalit. Bakit ang baba ng mga grades ko ngayon? So may mental health consequence bigla because they were not getting genuine feedback for all of their formative years in basic education. Pagdating ng college, nagagalit, yung mga magulang, inaaway daw yung mga faculty, na bakit biglang ang baba-baba ng grade ng anak ko? Honor student yan, ang tataas ng grade niya ng basic education. So, may dissonance in terms of realities. And I think this is something we need to really confront na tanggapin natin, nangyayari ito. Ikalawa, gusto ba natin ito, na ito yung maging kasanayan natin at ng ating mga kabataan? At kung hindi, ayusin natin, baguhin natin to. Dapat merit-based, dapat talaga pinagsisikapan, dapat marinig yung totoo. Kasi yun din yung isa sa mga sa totoo lang, Christian, isa yan sa mga na-realize namin, kalimitan, takot yung mga taong magsabi ng totoo. Ilag yung mga teachers na sabihin yung totoong nangyayari. Ang laging sasabihin ng mga teachers, "Sir, nakakaya naman. Ginagawa namin ng paraan. Pinagsisikapan naman." And again, everything that we are saying in EDCOM is not to criticize. It's not to embarrass. It's not to judge. It is really just to find out what is really happening, kasi it is only in properly diagnosing something can we find the real solutions. Ang sabi ko, ang gino-joke ko nga lagi, yung antibiotic ang nireseta kasi akala nila ito lang yung sakit, pero yun pala ang kailangan, operation na, quadruple bypass. Unless we know the reality, we cannot solve it. Kaya nga minsan yung mga teachers na kausap namin, sabihin ko, "Ma'am, ano po ba yung classroom to student ratio ninyo?" Ang isasubmit nila 1:40. Sabi ko, imposible yan kasi ang dami yung students, konti yung classrooms nyo. Yun pala 1:120 pero nag-triple shift yung school, or 1:80 pero double shift yung school. So minsan, because of the fear of punishment, or siguro because of practices that have festered in the system for the past decades, parang yung sense of honesty, sense of really accepting na pag may problema, but we will work together in finding solutions. Na sana, let's not always be finding fault with each other. Sometimes, asking for what the challenge is does not mean it is you who is at fault. It doesn't mean we are criticizing or blaming you. It means that we need to understand where are we so that we can then solve it.